How Marvel's retcon of the Infinity Stones could affect the MCU. With Marvel announcing that they're relaunching their entire book line for the 8th time in 6 years with their fresh start a few days ago, you could say this is a pretty dang big week for comics fans. But that wasn't the only news story to come out from the House of Ideas. Marvel Comics editor Jordan White posted a diagram to Twitter earlier this week describing exactly how the Infinity Stones will work in the upcoming line of Marvel Comics. And since White currently edits Marvel's line of Deadpool and X-Men books, it's safe to say that if there are two things this guy knows, it's internal Marvel secrets and also how to groom a sweet mustache. Up until now, the Infinity Stones have mainly been sources of great power associated with whatever that stone's specialty is. The Space Stone gives the user the ability to teleport through space. The Time Stone allows the user to travel through time. The Mind Stone gives you increased intelligence and telepathic abilities. And if you get all of them, congrats! You're basically a god, we guess. Though their individual abilities remain unchanged, the updated Infinity Stones, as explained in White's diagram, show that together they create a sort of energy circuit. One stone gives the next stone in the circuit increased abilities. So for example, if you have the Power Stone and the Space Stone, like Thanos does in the Infinity War trailer, the Power Stone will make the Space Stone even stronger because it's the next in line in the circuit. It's like Electronics 101 if your teacher had a superpower, besides shaping young minds and inspiring future leaders. So when all of the stones are together, it completes the loop and it gives the user infinite power! Before this retcon, the stones were just loosely explained sources of power. Now, this diagram gives the smallest amount of science behind everyone's favorite magic space rocks. It also gives a little more justification as to why no two stones should be stored in the same place in the Marvel Universe, because if there's one thing we read comics for, it's the science. So now that Marvel has finally read Kyle Hill's fan mail and given the stones some science, the question remains, how will this all shake out in the MCU? Well, according to Jordan, it won't. What? After tweeting out the initial Circuit Stones image, the Marvel editor explained to an understandably confused fan that the Infinity Circuit was a change in the new comics, not in the movies. Now that's all fine and good if you believe that the comics and the movies have nothing to do with each other, but not so. Marvel comics and movies inform each other all the time in sometimes small but significant ways. You might say the comics inform the movies, which informed the comics, forming a, wait for it, infinite feedback loop.
Whoa.
Did you see what I did there? Yeah, that was a callback. We've already seen a somewhat subtle change in the stones that started in the MCU and then slowly found its way into the comics, the size and shape of them. Check out how smooth and uniform those classic Infinity Gems were. Then they started popping up in the MCU as jagged little superstones, and that change eventually made it back into the comics. We even have some size variants now, with the Power Stone being the largest of the 6 according to that circuitry chart. Point is, so far there has not been a universe where Marvel movies and Marvel comics coexist without influencing each other. So why start now? If and when the circuitry business is reflected in the MCU, what might that look like? As Thanos trots around the globe collecting the remaining stones, he'll be harder and harder to defeat. So with 2, 3, or 4 stones, Thanos is definitely powerful, but that could mean the stones he's missing can be used against him to exploit his weaknesses. So we could see some crafty use of the Infinity Stones to at least slow down his intergalactic Easter egg hunt. But what do you think? Will the Infinity Stones change in the comics? Probably or definitely be seen in the movies. There's a right answer. Do you like the old look or the new look of the stones? And where is that last Infinity Stone? Let's discuss. Be sure to like and subscribe. And did you catch our latest show, Nerdist News What the Friday? It's our week in review show that breaks down everything you need to know in the week of pop culture. If you didn't, you can watch the VOD right now over on Alpha. Sign up for a 60-day free trial using the promo code WTFriday over at projectalpha.com.